All right, everyone. Today is Super Bowl Sunday. The superb owl, the great occult American ritual, is being held for, I don't know, the 57th time or something like that. So there's been a lot of them. And I will admit that I do enjoy watching the Super Bowl. Not really because of the sports, because I'm not interested in Sportsball. I have a feeling that a lot of it's scripted anyway, like, the last game with some of its calls. But I mean, anything can and does happen. So, like, I'm just hoping that crazy shit happens at the Super Bowl. And then you get the ads. It used to be back in the old days, the big thing people would look for: what is Budweiser going to trot out this year at the Super Bowl? The feeling this year it'll be self-deprecation more than anything else. I guess they're gonna have some rednecky bullshit going on. Oh, we realize that y'all didn't like our Dylan Mulvaney thing. So here's, Garth Brooks, sponsor of Bud Light or something like that. It'd be hilarious. But really, this Super Bowl, other than the occult mimetic side of it, and I actually wrote a booklet on the subject of football occultism several years ago. And you can check that out. It's on my books blog under My Works, WordPress or Blogspot, by the way. I'm going to try to make a Substack that's more categorical, but it's going to take me a lot of time because I started that project, like I said, that I wanted to do for months, and realized how much there was actually there to collate and organize. And then I said, shit, and by shit I mean fuck, that's going to take a long time, so maybe that's like a long-term project sort of thing. But it's basically going to be the Taylor Swift Super Bowl, for both better and for worse. Now, disclaimer here, some of you probably listen to Taylor Swift and like her. I don't have a problem with Taylor Swift. I don't care if she weighs in on politics because I'm not a hypocrite, because I do that for a living. And if I were to make like music or something, it's not like I'm stepping out of my lane. It's, I decided to express myself in that artistic format. Likewise, if a person who mainly does music, like Taylor Swift, weighs in on politics, like even if she comes out of the Super Bowl and says, I endorse Joe Biden for president. Okay, that's fine. You just swung maybe 10,000 votes. It's not very much since a lot of your fans are under 18, but it's your opinion. Oh, absolutely. You have the right to capitalize upon your brand. I do that all the time. Nobody is sponsoring me because nobody's watching me, etc. It's because, I've got an audience. She's got a huge audience. If she wants to try to influence politics, and more power to her. So I don't have a problem with Taylor Swift. What I do have a problem with is that I can't go a single day without seeing a story about Taylor Swift. And this has been the way that it's been for months now. It's becoming cloying. And at the Super Bowl, what you're going to see is people who don't like her and people who do like her are going to be mass posting about her the entire time. Oh my God, did you just see Taylor Swift? Yeah, there she's up in the box, and she's, she was cheering because her boyfriend scored a touchdown or something like that. Because, of course, the Chiefs are in the game against the 49ers. Or you can call them the 69ers. I mean, I think they're still in San Francisco, right? I think 69ers would make more sense. But it's all going to be about her. Like, people are going to be waiting with bated breath at the end of the game, especially if the Chiefs do win, for him to come out into the middle of the field and kneel down and, take the football ring and offer it to Taylor Swift or something like that. Well, they do seem like a cute couple. I don't see anything wrong with it. Some people find it problematic. I just find it more... The problematic side is how overhyped it is. And how much people fucking talk about it. Like, I don't give fuck football. I don't care about sports ball. It's, anytime you get a 300-pound man named Refrigerator running down the field that fast, I will admire them. They're very sporty, they're fit, etc. There's definitely talent there. It's not easy. And I'm not a sporty person, so I'm probably not going to start a fight with Refrigerator. But it's just in full admission, you got to be cognizant of your capabilities. And that being said, I don't really pay attention to it, mainly because of the sports fans. Like, I've noticed that a lot of the people that really, really get into it, like, not just casually, like, oh, okay, I watched the playoffs in the football, in the Super Bowl or something. People that are really, really into it, like, they're doing their fantasy leagues and stuff like that. Like, they're sitting there with hot wings with their buddies, and they're watching dudes in spandex pat each other's asses and play with balls. That joke will never get tiresome to me, by the way. Some people, it's the core fans of sports ball more than anything else. In Europe, it's more soccer, or what they call football. And then they say American football for what we call football, and it gets a little bit confusing there. That's more the thing, or Lionel Messi and people like that. So I will tune in. I'll be trolling sports fans, probably on the sports page on 4chan, but I'm wondering how much leeway I'm going to actually get, because I expect that half of the people watching the fucking game are just going to be talking about Taylor Swift and her boyfriend and stuff like that. And oh my god, it's going to be a magic moment right after the game. Here's your top 10 predictions for what happens at the end. And in all likelihood, probably nothing happens. Okay, you know, they hug and then they go home and fuck or something like that. He's going to fuck Taylor Swift probably later tonight. And there will be people who are going to have bizarre fantasies about that and stuff. But yeah, it's the Superb Owl, but it's kind of a janky one, because it's being overshadowed by somebody who's going to be in the stands, basically. The game is going to be completely overshadowed by one particular person who happens to be attending due to her relationship with one of the star players on one of the teams, specifically Kels there. It's going to be hilarious. It might make it better, it might make it worse, but like, I mean, in the halftime show I think is Usher, so I don't know, I'm not going to really pay attention to that. Unpopular opinion among some people, her politics and social views aside, I think Lady Gaga was the second best act you've ever had at the goddamn Super Bowl. Michael Jackson actually getting bumped by her to third because he was lip syncing. She wasn't. Prince will still be the best. The funny thing is, like, I don't even like Prince. Like, his personality is weird. He had some bizarre views. And some weird legal shit. Like, after he died, he didn't want his vault to be, you know, used by his family. It's like, okay, you've got literally thousands of demos and outtakes here. If they want to spit shine some of the better ones and release it, like, you're dead, but your music still lives on, I would think that that was a compliment. But he did have the best Super Bowl halftime show. Meanwhile, one of the worst was Tom Petty. I fucking love Tom Petty and cried the day he died, actually. But admittedly, not so much of a showman in that particular capacity. It'd be funny if Taylor Swift comes down to deliver an unscheduled impromptu solo or something like that during the halftime show. I mean, literally, what are people talking about right now? Is it the game that they're ostensibly watching, or is it the 5-second clip of Taylor Swift up in the stands, you know, doing the typical Taylor Swift face? You know, what if her boyfriend gets, like, crippled during the game? What if he gets his legs taken out from under him and he's sitting there on the field with his legs broken backwards, sticking up in the air while he's sitting down and screaming in pain? She has to see that. You got to be aware that it's always a possibility in competitive sports, by the way, and I am hoping for such a moment because, yeah, I always, when I was watching football, or hockey especially before, I was always rooting for injuries. I always thought those were hilarious. It was funny. I used to play, like, what was it, Madden 95 or something, the old N64 game, and the funny one. There was a cheat code, by the way, for landmine mode. So, like, the players would randomly fly up in the air with a puff of smoke under them, and it's just weird shit like that. And I always played as the Vikings, by the way. I always thought that was fun. And it was actually really great. But unfortunately, it was really difficult to injure people in the game. That was the one thing that I didn't like about it, and they never really addressed the issue. That's about all. Peace out.